Okay, so we're going to do question 2 in tutorial 10. Okay, so this question also about a specific tax, however, imposed on a monopoly. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward and pretty similar to what we did before. So we are given a demand function for a monopoly, P equal 120 minus 2QD. Okay, and it's telling you that the marginal cost for the monopoly is $20. Okay, now the government decided to impose a $20 specific tax per unit to be paid by the producers. And it's asking you what is the market outcome before tax, what is the market outcome after tax. So we want to find the level of price that the firm will charge, the quantity that the monopoly is going to produce, the level of profit, and the net way loss before and after tax. Okay. All right, so we are going to do before tax first. So now before tax, we know that monopoly is going to be maximizing the profit. So monopolies, okay, maximize it is profit, okay, by producing at the point where marginal revenue equal to marginal cost, okay? So marginal revenue equal to marginal cost. Now, so we are given a marginal cost already. What we have to do is just to find the marginal revenue, okay? So in order to find marginal revenue, we want to find total revenue for the firm first, which is equal to the price times the quantity QD. So it's 120 minus 2QD times QD, and that is 120 QD minus 2QD squared. Okay, so from here, marginal revenue is just going to be the differential of the total revenue with respect to QD, and so it's 120 minus 2Q, 4 QD. Okay. So therefore, if I equate this to the marginal cost, then I get 120 minus 4. Okay, QD is going to be equal to marginal cost, which is equal to 20. And so I'm solving this equation, I get QD is equal to 25. Okay, so the quantity the firm is going to supply to the market is equal to 25. So for this is QD star or QDM to represent a monopoly, okay, quantity. And so if I substitute this value Qm, okay, into the demand function, I'll be able to find the price that the firm is charging the consumer. Okay, so into the demand function. So the demand function is given by P equal 120 minus 2 QD M, and so from here I should be able to find out PM is equal to 120 minus 2 times 25, which is 50, and so the price is going to be 70. Okay, so the firm is producing 20 units of output, charging $70 per unit, and so therefore the profit for the firm, pi m, is going to be equal to the total revenue minus the total cost. Okay. Now, total revenue is just going to be the price multiplied by the quantity. And the total cost is just going to be the marginal cost times QD. Okay, now again, in this case, because we have a constant marginal cost, so therefore marginal cost is equal to the average cost. Okay, and so therefore we know that total cost is just going to be equal to the average cost multiplied by the quantity. So in this case, it's equal to marginal cost multiplied by the quantity because we have a constant marginal cost. Okay, so therefore I got PM minus MC and everything multiplied by the quantity. So the price is 70, the cost is 20, and the total quantity sold in the market is 25. So I got 50 and 25, that is going to give me 1,250. Okay, and the dead weight loss. Now, so an easiest way to see what is the dead weight loss then is to draw a diagram. Okay, and from a diagram, we will see what is the area for dead weight loss. And from there, we will be able to calculate a value for it. Okay, so I got dollars over here, and I got quantity QD over here, I have 0 here. So first of all, I would like to draw the demand curve where it's P is equal to 120 minus 2 QD. Okay, so this is the demand curve. All right, so from this demand curve, I know that vertical intercept is 120 and horizontal intercept is 60. Okay, so if I quickly draw that on the diagram, okay, then I get something like this. So this is 120 and this is 60. Okay, so my marginal revenue is equal to 120 minus 4 QD I found earlier. Okay, so I know that when QD equal to 0, marginal revenue equal to 120. So the vertical intercept is the same. And when marginal revenue is equal to 0, QD is going to be equal to 30. So that is going to be half of the horizontal intercept of the demand curve, which is what we already know. Okay, so my marginal revenue is going to be like this. And marginal cost is just going to be a horizontal line at 20. Okay, so I'm just going to put this over here. Right, so this is 20 and this is my marginal cost. So the monopolist is going to be producing at the point where marginal cost equal to marginal revenue. So that is the point over here. At which the quantity QM is equal to 25. Okay. And so if you go all the way up to the price, to the demand curve, at this level of quantity to find the price in the market, then PM is equal to 70 here. All right, so therefore the dead weight loss is basically the area created by the firm producing less than the socially optimal level of output. Now, so in this case, we know that this is the socially optimal level of output. Okay, where the marginal cost equal to the price or equal to the demand curve. Okay, so socially optimal level. So the dead weight loss is created because the firm or the monopolist is producing less than this level. Okay, so as you can see, the quantity, the difference between this point and this point over here. Okay, and so the dead weight loss is going to be the little triangle over here on the right hand side, where all the units that are having the marginal benefit or the demand or the willingness to pay being higher than the marginal cost. So for all those units, it should have been produced in order to maximize the social welfare in the economy. However, the monopoly is not producing it because it's trying to maximize profit. Okay, so all of those units basically the loss for the economy. Okay, so all of those units with the marginal benefit or the willingness to pay revenue curve being higher than the marginal cost. Okay, so therefore the dead weight loss, I use the yellow area over here. Okay, which is the area below the consumer willingness to pay and above the marginal cost to produce. So all of these units actually creating benefit for the society, however, they are not being produced. Okay, so therefore that is the loss for the society, for the economy, and so that is called a deadweight loss. All right, so having shown that on a diagram, it should be straightforward to find the value of the deadweight loss. Okay, so the socially optimal level of output over here is just going to be the intersection between the demand curve and the marginal cost. Okay, so the socially optimal level is where P equal to marginal cost. Okay. So I got P is, or demand curve is cutting the marginal cost. 120 minus 2QD equal to marginal cost, which is 20. So QD, it should be equal to 50. Okay, so it should be 50 over here. All right, so the deadweight loss is just going to be half of the high, which is the difference between 70 and 20, times the run. Okay, the rise times the run, which is the horizontal over here, which is the difference between the socially optimal level output, 50, and what the monopolist is producing, which is 25. And so that is going to give us 625. Okay. So I got 50 times 25 divided by 2, that's 625. Okay. All right, so that is before tax. Now, after tax, so now the government is imposing $20 per unit. $20 per unit that the firm will have to pay to the government. Okay, so for every unit that the firm is selling to the market, apart from paying or apart from covering its marginal cost, which is the cost of production, it now will have to pay $20 to the government. Okay, so therefore, okay, so therefore, the marginal cost for the firm is not only equal to $20 as before, but it's now equal to $20 plus the $20 of tax. Because for every unit the firm is selling to the market, apart from having to pay $20 for the cost, it now has to pay another $20 to the government. Okay, so the marginal cost for the firm now is going to be $40 instead of being $20 as before. Okay, so after tax, so the new marginal cost, I'll say marginal cost 1 is going to be equal to the original marginal cost plus the $20 of specific tax. Okay, so before marginal cost is 20 plus 20, so that equal to 40. Okay, now everything else remains the same, so the firm is going to be maximizing the firm's profit by producing at the point where marginal revenue again equal to marginal cost. Remember, new marginal cost after tax. So marginal revenue is 120 minus 4Q D, and it has to be equal to 40. So therefore, QD is going to be equal to, so I'll say QD 1 is going to be equal to 20. Okay, so having found a quantity that the monopoly is now going to be producing, we should be able to find the price in the market. Okay, so I got P equal to 120 minus 4. So say it's P1, okay, QD1, and that's 120 minus 4 times 20. So the price in the market is going, okay, that should be 2. QD1, okay, so it's 2 times 20, so the price is going to be equal to 80. Okay. Okay, so what is going to be the new profit for the firm? I will say pi 1. So again, it's just equal to total revenue minus total revenue 1 minus total cost 1. Okay. All right, so total revenue 1 is just the price P1 times the quantity QD1 minus total cost. Now, total cost now is going to be equal to marginal cost 1 times um, QD1. Okay, so again, because marginal cost is constant, so therefore we know that marginal cost is equal to the average cost, and so therefore we can use this to calculate the total cost. Okay, so that is just P1 minus MC1 times QD1. So I got the price is 80, the marginal cost is 40, and the quantity is 20. So that is going to be or is going to be 800 for the consumer supplies. Sorry, for the profit. Okay, so what is going to be the deadweight loss for the economy? Okay, so I'll quickly have another diagram. Maybe I'll just use the original one. Okay. So instead of having the marginal cost originally there, now I'm going to use a red line to indicate the new marginal cost curve. So I will just say it's somewhere here. Okay. Now the scale is not very precise, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so I got 40 over here, and this is new marginal cost MC1. All right, so it's going to cut the marginal revenue at this point over here, where we know that the quantity over here is going to be equal to 20. Okay. So QD1 is 20. If I go all the way up to the demand curve, then I'll find that the price over here, P1 is equal to 80. Okay. So again, all right. So again, this is the socially optimal level of output at the new level of after tax. Okay. So this is the new socially optimal level of output. Okay. Level. Okay, so the deadweight loss again is just going to be the little triangle over here on the right hand side, which is the difference between whatever the firm should have been produced, see, to maximize the social welfare and what it actually produced to maximize its profit. Okay, so that's just the little triangle over here. So this is the new deadweight loss outside deadweight loss 1. Okay, so what I want to do is to find the amount of new socially optimal level of output. Okay, so the new socially optimal level is where the price equal to the new marginal cost. Okay, so that's 120 minus 2 QD equal to 40, and so therefore QD is 40. All right, so that is the quantity over here, which is 40. Okay, so the deadweight loss is just basically the triangle over here with the value of half and the rise, which is the difference between 80 and 40, and the run, which is the difference between 40 and 20. Okay, so therefore the deadweight loss new after tax is half of the 80 minus 40 times the 40 minus 20. So this is 40 times say 500 divided by 2, so that is going to be 400. Okay, and it's asking you to find the tax revenue raised and who bears the economic incident of the tax in this case. Okay, so what is the tax revenue? So we know that the tax is $20, which is the difference between the two marginal costs. Okay, and the firm is now selling 20 units to the economy. So the tax revenue is just going to be the difference between the tax per unit. Okay, so that's the difference between here and here. Okay, so difference between the two marginal costs is basically just the specific tax the firm will have to pay. And if you multiply by the total quantity sold by the firm, which is 20 units, then you'll be able to find the total tax revenue. So in this case, it is just going to be the rectangle over here, okay, divided by the total quantity sold, which is 20, and the difference between the two marginal cost line. Okay, so this is tax. All right, so the tax revenue is just the rectangle, which is 20 times 20. So the tax revenue is just going to be 400. Okay, and who is bearing the incident of tax? So, okay, so before tax, the price in the market is $70. Okay, so this is the price charged by the monopolist, and this is the price paid by the consumer. Okay, so that's the same price. So before tax, consumer pay PM, which is even $70, and the monopolist receive $70. Okay, now after tax, how much the consumer pay? So they pay the new price now, which is P1 is equal to 80. Okay, and how much do the monopolists get to keep? So the monopolist is going to take $80 from the consumer. However, they do not keep all of it. They are going to pay $20 tax to the government. Okay, so a monopolist is going to keep or is going to earn $80 minus $20 of tax, right, to the government. So they only get to keep $60 for themselves. So therefore, if you compare to the before tax, consumer are paying $10 more, and the monopolist is getting $10 less. Okay, so therefore that is contributing to $20 paid to the government. So in this case, the incidence of tax is shared equally between the consumer and the producer. Each of them is paying $10 of tax. The consumer is paying $10 more, and the producer is also paying $10 to the government, and therefore they are receiving $10 less for their money. Okay, so therefore, the consumers pay $10 more, and the monopolists pay $10. Sorry, receive or earned $10 less. Okay, so the share. So as you can see, this is the $20 going to the government. Okay, so consumer giving extra 10, and the producer also give 10, and therefore reduce the money they get to keep. Okay, so the share the incidence of tax equally. Okay, so 50% each.